Hello and welcome to an episode of City Car Driving. In this episode, I'm going to be driving around in this Porsche Cayenne. And it has a custom sound, which does sound pretty good. But first, let's take the parking brake off and put the seat belt on. And let's take off. There's a reason why I'm at this part of the map, and that reason is because this is a pretty fast SUV, and there's some fun driving to be had. Now what I will say is that this does not handle as good as a car. Let's put it in first. Well, let's lock it in first so that I can have the power every time I want to put my foot down. And it does handle pretty good. Not as good as a car though. Oh, cone just went flying. And another cone went flying. But now if we try to drive a little bit normally here, besides the noise, it's pretty good. And since this is a mod review, I'm going to talk a bit about the interior and some of the extras that I've put on this. One of the extras is that this has the beige interior, which you can see just here. And one more thing is if I decide to pull into here, if I'm reversing, I have a reverse camera so I can see whatever's behind me. The physics are pretty good. It does handle somewhat like you'd expect, and the power's there too, which I'll just show you how much power it has in a minute. But anyway, everything seems to be just how you would want it. Obviously the gauges work, not the screen. The screens don't work because, I mean, you wouldn't even expect that. And if you go to the exterior, for some reason this thing's just sitting there. Anyway, so the exterior is styled very, very nicely. The model for this came from Forza Horizon 4, so the interior and exterior design is Forza Horizon 4, which is why it looks so good. Need some gas. There you go, 4 liters of fuel. And let's see here just how fast I can take off, so I can't actually see behind me, annoyingly. Oh, well, the car just sitting there. Let's see what I get up to here, and talk about bad drivers. Oh, it looks like I can't get up to high speed there. Mainly because that car ran right in the front of me, so, yeah. It does drive pretty nice. The brakes aren't all that powerful though, still, so I'll come right up to this and slamming the brakes, and it takes a bit to stop. Blinkers work. Both of the blinkers. The wipers work. However, I don't believe you can switch from all-wheel drive to rear-wheel drive. I feel like it's a permanent all-wheel drive system. What I'd like to find is a highway. So, okay, here's the freeway entrance. Just gotta wait for these cars here. Come on, go a little faster, please. So, looks like I'm just gonna need to make an illegal U-turn here. Let the guy in a BMW by, who isn't using his turn signal. And let's see what sort of speeds this thing can go. Already 60. And in case you're wondering, the gauge down there is actually in kilometers per hour. 130. Yeah, it's pretty fast. And let's slow down before I crash. So in general, yeah, this thing is pretty fast. And you're... Okay, if the brakes were a little bit better, I probably would have stopped there. Okay, there we go. Plenty of passing power in this car. And this car is actually really loud, so it's going to be turned down in editing. But all of those straight runs there, that was set back to normal volume. I don't like to increase the volume of the cars in the games I play, because then it just isn't what you'd actually experience from the game if you were playing the game yourself. So most of the time, the sound is actually decreased from normal, so you can actually hear me talk. Sounds pretty good from the outside too. You got dual exhausts. And in general, this is actually a pretty fun mod. Now let's go see how this handles in the snow, because it is all-wheel drive, so obviously you'd want to see how it handles in the snow. But what I'm going to actually do is put it on some ice. Okay, what we have here is, first I'm going to just start the car up. So what we have now is the roads are going to be icy, and it's nighttime, so we can see how the headlights work here. Really, they aren't too bright, but they work. And something good that's not so true about some mods is that at nighttime you can actually see your gauges because they light up. And just like a lot of mods, the steering wheel buttons kind of like sometimes love to glitch a little bit, but as it turns out at the moment, they look just fine. So let's pull out here. Oh gosh, you can tell that there is some slip in the road right now. Oh yeah, and let me just turn on my lower beams. Yeah, you can see, just look at how much understeer there is. Now my question is, how much wheel spin do we have off the line? Quite a lot, actually. You can probably hear it better from the interior, the tires screeching. That's great. Put it back in drive. And it handles on ice like you would expect any car. Handles pretty shitty. And my monitor just decided to glitch a little bit there. But it's fine. So now let's try to pass this dude. No, okay, get him back in my lane. Oh gosh. Now, unlike a lot of vehicles in the game, the steering isn't absurdly fast. Now, there are a lot of cars in the game where you just, like, twitch the steering wheel and it's going all over the place. This car is sort of one of them, but not exactly. You can see it does turn pretty quickly, but it's not stupidly quick. Okay, now we're going to turn out onto the roundabout. And that 4 liters of fuel lasts about 2 seconds, and then you basically used all of it, essentially. Okay, I stopped light here. Let's see how good the stopping is in the... Oh god, the stopping is non-existent in the snow. One thing is, though, is that backup camera is really not useful. It's pointed like that at the ground, so you don't really get much out of it. And it is possible to drive this without spinning the wheels, but if you're like me, you do like spinning the wheels. And now let's attempt to stop. Luckily I didn't crash into anyone, but I've been full brakes that whole time. Talk about ice on the road. The quality of the mod is a little bit higher than what you would expect from most mods in this game. And while considering how old the game is, the cars are actually really good. And yeah. It's his fault, he was jaywalking. Now let's just go see what it does in the rain too. Okay, so let's start this up again. And I've decided to set it to springtime because, I mean, like, why not? And obviously, the wipers would work as you would expect. It's a little bit slippery, but it's very realistic. The car itself is actually really well held, which I feel like there'd be a little bit more bouncing and rolling in real life than what there is here. So, I'm struggling to find anything else to talk about. So, hopefully you like this episode. And, wait, let's get a good view of this car. Hopefully you like this episode, and goodbye.